Welcome to the City Show. Pat O'Melia here on GGR. I am not live today. We are prepping as we speak for the Jersey City mayoral debate, the NJCU one, New Jersey City University. We have commitments from 5 of the candidates, so we're setting up for 5. There are 7 of them. One at the town hall, one we can never get in touch with. That's tomorrow at 6:30. On our Facebook, on our YouTube, on our Twitter, provided Facebook and YouTube are on arguing. Sometimes it's hard to simulcast on those two. It'll be on Comcast cable from channel 190 and 198. We'll also simulcast it here on GGR Radio, so you can listen in the car or whatever you want to do. The moderator is the former mayor of Jersey City, Brett Schindler. Not too bad. Anybody know his issues facing City of Jersey City? It's Brett Schindler. He was there. What was Brett there? 2 full terms? 2.5 terms? No, he won the special election. I think it was 2 terms. Then he went off to run for governor, which is something us Jersey City mayors want to do. But again, you're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. As I ask you all the time, download the Live 365 app. This way you can listen to our shows. I'm sure if you're listening now, you already have downloaded the Live 365 app. But tell your mom, tell your mom's friends, tell your friends, tell your dad's friends, tell your friends at school. Because there's a lot of other programming on Live 365 than just my nonsense and our shows. Where hopefully in the next week or so, we're going to announce our high school talk show, high school sports talk show. We'll be covering the high school activities live. So we want to get a reporter at the basketball games. We want to get a reporter calling in to the show. We'll have probably 2 hosts talking high school sports and sports in general. We got a kid, Mike, in the studio who's going to be heading that up. Also, we're going to start with my high school students. I want to start promoting, since they're at North Bergen High School, we want to focus on them right now. We're going to start looking at North Bergen businesses and start promoting them as a project for these kids. We'll do some radio and television. We teach these juniors and seniors studio production and radio production, so that'll be one of their projects. Got a lot of things coming up. Hopefully our medical show gets going. Our doctor should be back from Berlin. He was in Germany for a while. All that's coming up, but right now we got a break for commercial. You're listening to the City Show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. I'll be right back.
Financing and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
All right, I'm back. Pat O'Melia here, City Show, here on GGR Radio. Pretty good week for sports. You know, we'll get into it with the Giants. Giants have a future. The Mets have been eliminated. The Yankees are in the postseason, but we'll get into that later in the show. Probably for Jersey City and the local areas, Hoboken, Bayonne, there was a bombshell that was dropped concerning Christ Hospital, Heights University Hospital, whatever you want to call it now. Hudson Regional Health took over the CarePoint hospitals out of bankruptcy, and they renamed them all, and Christ Hospital became Heights University Hospital. They just announced, after only a few weeks, they'll be closing Christ Hospital to all non-essential services. In essence, they're closing Christ Hospital. How is it possible that they didn't see this coming? You know, it was only a few weeks ago we're going to invest $300 million in all the hospitals. We're going to upgrade them. They're looking at building a new hospital in Hoboken, and we're going to upgrade Christ Hospital and Bayonne Hospital, and things will be great. It'll be a great medical system here in Hudson County that everybody can be proud of. We're announcing all these new treatments. And then, oh, by the way, we just happened to look at Christ Hospital, I guess, and say, it's losing money. And we're going to cut out all the services there, lay off people. How is this possible? You didn't see this coming. Of course you're seeing this coming. Yeah, I know some of the people involved in this. Sean Moshe is the head of Hudson Regional Health, pretty smart guy, very successful in life. I don't know how you missed this. You didn't see this when you took these hospitals out of bankruptcy? For that matter, Hudson Regional Health, which is Hudson Regional Hospital out of Secaucus, has very intimate knowledge of the situations with CarePoint. All the hospitals, they've been fighting for the last 2-3 years to get control of these hospitals. So there's no friggin' surprises here as to what the situation was with Christ Hospital. But now we have this situation that beginning in October, which is, a couple days away, there'll be no Christ Hospital in the Heights. And that's a problem. That is a big void in Jersey City, especially for the Heights. Now listen, can the Jersey City Medical Center handle it? Sure. Jersey City Medical Center is constantly growing. They're expanding. But you like to have the medical options. When there was talk about RWJ Barnabas possibly buying CarePoint hospitals, one of the things I said, you still want to have options. You don't want to have one entity controlling all the medical in Jersey City or Hudson County. And you don't want monopolies. I'm not sure there was many organizations that looked at the CarePoint chain. There was somebody in there for a while, Infinity or something like that, out of Chicago, I think it was. But at the end of the day, Hudson Regional Hospital, which we renamed the whole group Hudson Regional Health, took over Christ Hospital and Bayonne Hospital and Hoboken University Hospital. On the not-for-profit, remember, CarePoint also formed a not-for-profit, last-ditch effort, trying to save themselves from insolvency. You had some representatives from the municipalities on it. In particular, the mayor of Jersey City, Stephen Fulop, and the mayor of Hoboken, Robbie Balla, were on that. So these guys had to know what was going on. They had to explain to Jan Moshe and the people at Hudson Regional that, there's some serious financial problems here. One of the things they cited was the money that CarePoint has not received back from the state in charity care reimbursements. And there's talk about how the previous CarePoint management, grabbed all the money they could out of the CarePoint hospitals, millions and millions of dollars. I don't think that has anything to do with getting these hospitals out of bankruptcy now. You get them out of bankruptcy, I don't think you get the monies that they were owed, because you didn't have to pay off the debt they were owed. So I don't see how we're pointing at money that the state didn't reimburse CarePoint as a reason for closing Christ Hospital now. That money, I believe, in creating a bankruptcy court, and since you're an entirely different entity and the money wasn't owed to you, you're not entitled to that money. Now, you can get new money for reimbursements, for charity reimbursements, non-insured, that sort of thing, but you're not getting the old money. So to use that as an excuse, I believe, is wrong. You were never getting the money that CarePoint was owed from the state. The CarePoint went bankrupt, and that was it. You got the hospitals out of bankruptcy. You didn't get their accounts receivable also out of bankruptcy. But if that was the case, if you were going to get millions and millions of dollars in alleged reimbursements from the state of New Jersey from Medicare or Medicaid or charity care, you would have a lot more bidders in there. There would have been a lot of money on the table. And again, we're not sure what the numbers are for reimbursement. Why is Christ Hospital the only one holding the bag on charity care reimbursements, and Bayonne and Hoboken isn't? Well, let me tell you something. Christ Hospital, as described by one of the leading citizens in Jersey City, smart guy, I'll leave nameless. Christ Hospital is like a Jersey Shore motel that was built in the 70s. It needs a lot of upgrades. There was always, sleight of hand when it came to Christ Hospital. Christ Hospital needs a lot. But it was no surprise there. It needs a lot of upgrade. It is, of the three, it was the one that needed the most work. But again, there was no secret to that. Everybody knew that. There was all sorts of talk about what's going on at Christ Hospital. They were talking about knocking it down at one time and putting condominiums there. Mayor Fulop took the step to change the zoning there, only medical use, which you thought that would be saving grace, but we kind of just changed that same kind of zoning down by the Jersey City Medical Center, where it was land there was for medical use only. Now that's going to be changed, so there can be a development there with condominiums, and there'll be expansion of the Jersey City Medical Center. I think it's sort of like a private entity working with the nonprofit R.W.J. Barnabas to develop the sites. So the zoning isn't 100% protectful. But there's always been that issue with Christ Hospital. That, what's going to be the future? It needs a lot of money. They're going to knock it down. And we were told by Hudson Regional that these three hospitals are going to flourish. We're going to put $300 million in. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix that. Things will be great. We'll have a whole nother system. And then, boom. How did this happen? You're going to tell me how the people that run Hudson Regional Health, they're pretty smart guys. I know a few of these guys. I've had some business dealings with them. Now, this didn't come out of left field here. They didn't just open up the books and say, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't see this Christ Hospital situation. Oh, I didn't look. I didn't turn that page to Christ Hospital. I had a Hoboken. I had Bayonne. Holy cow, there's a real problem with Christ Hospital. No, this was seen. This was foreseen. It was readily available knowledge that there was a problem with Christ Hospital. From a financial standpoint to needs for renovations, upgrades in the building. So I don't see what a surprise here. Again, Mayor Fulop in Jersey City was well aware of that situation. He's been fighting for Christ Hospital for years. He knew what the situation was. He knew he didn't want to have that hospital go close up. So I'm sure the people at Hudson Regional were well aware. But still, they went forward. And now, doesn't look like they're going to drop that kind of money in there, or unless they get help from the government. What government are we talking about getting help from, by the way? Is it the state? Is it the county? Is it municipalities? Is there some pitch we're going to make to the local municipalities saying, we got to increase revenue flow. If we don't increase revenue flow into the hospitals, in particular Christ Hospital, we're going to have to close it. So how can we get more revenue flow? Well, where would you get the revenue from? It would have to be one of the two other medical entities in Hudson County, and that would be Hackensack Meridian with Palisade Hospital or Jersey City Medical Center. Somehow, I suppose there's going to be some sort of a pitch that will be made how we can siphon some of the revenue that's going to the Jersey City Medical Center and get it over to Christ Hospital. So somehow, there might be a whole idea of how to package the three hospitals as a way of servicing and serving Hudson County as a whole in Jersey City, provided revenue and patients and programs could be funneled through Hudson Regional Health, and in particular here, Christ Hospital, and you're either going to take it away from Palisades Hospital, which I don't think that's the target. You'd have to go to the Jersey City Medical Center. What treatments, what patients, whatever revenues are going in, that has got to be the goal. Because everybody knew there was a problem financially with Christ Hospital. We knew there was a problem with the upgrades that were needed. Everybody knew this. That description before is very apt. It looks like a hotel, a motel from the Jersey Shore that was built in the 70s. In need of a lot of renovations. There's another shoe to drop here. And if you listen to the press releases and read them, it's help from the government. Help from the government. We need help from the government. Now, before Hudson Regional Hospital took over and formed the Hudson Regional Health, I thought the best possible partner to partner, not take over, was they have the county of Hudson involved. Have their hands on that wheel of the hospital system. You could have merged in Meadowview. If you wanted to get money out of the state of New Jersey, the county of Hudson could have done a far better job than Hudson Regional Hospital could have done on their own. That probably would have been the best scenario on how to save the hospital system, in particular Christ Hospital. That didn't happen because I'm not sure. Is this all going to shake out? Well, we sold a bill of goods, the city of Jersey City, by Hudson Regional Hospital or Hudson Regional Health. Did they not know what was going on? Because it was only a few weeks ago. They were campaigning on how well, we're going to put money in there. We're going to upgrade this, and $300 million. It'll be state of the art. There'll be a great Hudson County health system in place. And here we are. Well, you're going to lose the hospital in the biggest city. You talked about building a new hospital in Hoboken. Well, why don't we put some of that attention? Hoboken University Hospital is in the bad shape. Christ is the weakest of the three. Maybe we should focus on that. But what does the city do? What does Mayor Fuller? Mayor Fuller's got to put his foot down here. But the debate we're doing tomorrow, the live one, I guarantee you that is maybe the first or second question out of Brett Schindler's mouth. What are you going to do about Christ Hospital and Hudson Regional Health? You're going to have Solomon there. I think we got 5 of the candidates committed. Solomon, O'Day, McGreevy, Masab Ali. I'm forgetting somebody. Am I forgetting somebody? Oh, and what's her name? Freeman. Christine Freeman, the Jersey City police officer. There's got to be some real answers. And I tell you, when you got people like Solomon, O'Day, and McGreevy, guys that I've known for years and years, I've known Billy O'Day for 30 years, McGreevy about 30 years now. Solomon, I remember when he started coming up, one of the debates that put him over the top at one time against Rebecca Sims, was it, Sims? That was in the studio. I've known him, I guess, 8 years or so. So I got some history with these guys. I know they're going to have some very strong opinions in this debate tomorrow concerning what's happening at Christ Hospital and what's happening with Hudson Regional. Hudson Regional Health. This was not a surprise. It's a surprise now to all of us. Last 2 days, whoa, we're going to lose a hospital here. That can't be. Something has to happen here. Like I said, there's another shoe to drop, and it has to do with revenue. That shoe's going to drop with money attached to it. Where's the money coming from? The state? I don't know. Municipalities? I don't think so. The county? I don't think so. It's got to be where revenue is going now. And they're going to probably look at the model, the successful model there at the Jersey City Medical Center, and say, we need to get some of that. We need some of that over here to save this hospital and possibly the whole hospital chain. There's some wealthy people involved with this Hudson Regional Health. I don't want to count that. I never count anybody else's money. But they're not the kind of money like RWJ Barnabas has or Hudson Hackensack Meridian has. It has a huge difference money-wise. So it's going to be quite interesting. But the way I'm looking at it, either the people at Hudson Regional Health were just being disingenuous, weeks ago when they were talking about the future of the hospital system here, Hudson Regional Health, or they're incompetent. They didn't understand the financial and physical conditions of the hospitals, which I have a hard time believing that because they've been involved for so many years trying to get their hands on these hospitals. And here we are now. They were certainly aware of the financial issues when it comes to Christ Hospital. And I don't think we separated the issues when it comes to Christ Hospital. It was one organization, CarePoint. So if there was any reimbursements coming from the state, it wasn't just going to Christ Hospital. It was going to the CarePoint organization. Now we're just pointing at Christ Hospital. It was part of the chain. There was Bayonne, Hoboken, and Christ Hospital. Why are we now signaling out Christ Hospital about charity care and reimbursements and lack of funding coming in, and the state's got to help out with Christ Hospital? If something isn't right here. Yeah, hopefully we could get the principals of Hudson Regional Health. I got the debate tomorrow, but I tell you what, I'll reach out for Jan Moshe. He's the head of Hudson Regional Health, and see if we can get an interview going with him. And maybe I'll do a special on Wednesday and Thursday, and do an interview with them. We'll see if we get straight answers what happened here. But that's what's needed here, straight answers. How did this possibly get by, you guys? And the more I keep reading things, well, it's the problem with reimbursements from the state for charity care to Christ Hospital. They are not just sending the reimbursements to Christ Hospital. They were sending it to CarePoint, the organization, not just the individual hospitals. So we're cherry picking a hospital saying, oh, we're getting paid from the state. Christ wasn't getting paid from the state. No, the whole chain wasn't getting paid from the state. But for some reason, Christ Hospital is the hospital that's in trouble. It's not Hoboken, it's not Bayonne. Could it be property value under there? Could there be some situations where, ownership of the building and the land? There's a situation where some people would rather build those condominiums than have that hospital there. We got to find out. See, I'm not sure if we should allow the state to go forward with Hudson Regional Health. If you have a situation like this, you weren't aware of the situation at Christ Hospital when you guys took over the CarePoint chain. And here we are, just a few weeks later. I'm going to cut essential services. You're going to cut out Christ Hospital. And everything we're talking about with all the issues and back money and money for reimbursements all seems to be focused at Christ Hospital. I don't think that's how they paid that. They would pay CarePoint as a whole, not each individual hospital, at least as I understand it. I doubt if the state was cutting checks to Christ Hospital, Hoboken University Hospital, and Bayonne Hospital on charity care and Medicare or Medicaid, whatever the payments are. So I think there's a lot of disingenuous going on here. And they talk about the past practices of Christ. It doesn't apply now. Whatever the old owners did, whatever the accounts payable was, it doesn't apply now. This is a whole new entity. Unless I misunderstood something about the bankruptcy court, I don't see how you're getting the money that was owed to CarePoint. If anything, the state would probably send that money to the creditors of CarePoint before they send it to the new entity that's operating the hospitals. And like I said, when we're talking about reimbursements, Christ Hospital wasn't getting the reimbursements. I sincerely doubt they were sending reimbursements to individual hospitals, the group of CarePoint. They were sending it to CarePoint as a whole, as the corporate entity, not to individual hospitals. So there's some questions that got to be answered. I will reach out to the heads of Hudson Regional Health tomorrow in preparation for the debate that we're doing and see if I can get an interview for Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see what happens. But there has to be some legitimate questions. There has to be questions posed to Ravi Bala in Hoboken and Mayor Fulop in Jersey City. Said, you guys didn't see this coming? At all those meetings, and when you guys got on the board with the not-for-profit, nobody mentioned this situation, the financial situation of Christ Hospital. I'm going to stop with the financial situation at Christ Hospital. But the financial situation was as all three hospitals as a whole. They were one company with three hospitals. The main situation with Christ Hospital is, I think I see it, is the condition of Christ Hospital. It needs some major upgrades. I'm not even stop with the financial condition because you bought this thing out of the bankruptcy. You knew what the financial situation is, and I'm sure you knew what the physical condition of the building was. All right, listen, let's break for commercial. You're listening to The City Show here on GGR. I'll be right back.
Community on the Hudson River offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
All right, we're back. Pat O'Melia here. City Show Radio on GGR. Well, I tell you, September went quite quick, right? As long as the last day of September, jeez. Summer's over. We're in the fall. It's actually pretty warm today, but it was like in the 80s today. Not bad weather, not bad weather. Yeah, I'm going to reach out I'm going to text him right as soon as I get off the air, see if I can set up a live interview via the radio. If he can set up, I'll just go live. Wednesday or Thursday. I'll give him a little time there. let them pick a time that's advantageous for the hospital organization, and see if we can get an interview and get some answers to what's going on here. Because right now we're getting press releases and some angry candidates. I did text the head of Hudson Regional Health saying you just became the main part of the campaign for mayors now. So that is definitely going to be a big issue. That's going to be a big issue in the Heights. For that matter, I think tomorrow I'm going to settle on the ward debates. I'm going to do the debates in the afternoon with the ward. I'll probably do like Ward A and B. I'll do like Ward A at 1 o'clock and Ward B at, say, 2:30. We'll do them live, but then we'll just put them up on YouTube so you can watch it. Yeah, in this day and age, I don't know how many people watch anything live anymore. Everything is, DVR'd. For that matter, you see, like, the shows, the closing comments. Don't forget the DVR, Russ. Because that's the big thing. Most of the radio now is digital, like ESPN, FAN. I believe they're like 60-some-odd percent, 65% of their radio track is all digital. It's a different world. So I think we could put the debates to them, like, 2 a day. But there's 6 of them. Nobody else is doing 6 debates. I am. And you put the 2 mayoral debates, that's 8 debates in there. And I think we're talking about doing a Hoboken one. I got to talk to Johnny Highness about that. So yeah, I'm looking at like 9 debates. So yeah, I'm the only entity doing all these debates. So yeah, I can do 2 a day in the studio. You can knock out A, B, C, D. Boom, E and F. Knock it right up. Do 2 every day. If I can free up 3 days in 1 week, boom, the sets will be there. Just got to charge up the batteries and the cameras and the transmitters, and off we go. Let's get into a little politics here. Like I said, we got the debate tomorrow, 6:30, on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook, on the Twitter, and, of course, on Comcast Cable. Got my old friend, the Pterodact, in. We are testing that today so we can broadcast live on Comcast. We used to do that a long time ago, and doing it again, just a one-off here. And we'll probably do it again. Yeah, we'll do it. We also have another one set up for October the 21st, the Hudson Media Group one, where John Highness will be the moderator there. But tomorrow, 12 days, I'll start tweeting it out. We're positive the Pterodact is working, so I'll start tweeting out the debate probably tonight and tweet it out all through the course of tomorrow. I'll tag John Highness and the city of Jersey City. But again, even after that debate, we'll put it up on YouTube so you can watch it. I'll let the candidates use any parts of the debate they want to use for their campaigns. Speaking of campaigns, the race for governor. Holy cow, did that thing get tight? Yeah, Jersey is a Democratic state. I think Trump lost it by 4%, but Citarelli was close. A couple of percentage points when he lost to Murphy the last time. Right now, he is in the statistical dead heat with Jackie Sherrill. I thought the campaigns would be close. I thought it would be closer as we got to Election Day. Here we are. I think about 6 weeks ago, I know I was kidding with Jack Citarelli, how far back he was, 22%. And I have a problem with polls in New Jersey. I don't think they're very accurate anymore. But maybe there is some accuracy here because this guy, every time there was a poll release, he brought that from 22%, it would get down to 14%, 12%, 8%. Now he's in dead heat. And I tell you, the big issues with and this is before the scandalistic naval records of Becky Sherrill. I don't know about cheating. Well, we'll get into that. I don't know if it's as bad as everybody's making it out to be. But I'm jumping my own notes here. The big issue in New Jersey right now is safety and affordability. You want to feel safe, and it's getting ridiculous out here. You got a guy pulls up in a boat and shoots up a party. This other guy goes to the Mormon church, or Church of Latter-day Saints, shoots the people up, sets it on fire. What the F is going on here? And, oddly enough, finally, it wasn't some 20-year-old kid. These guys that did this were in their 40s, ex-Marines. Maybe it's something from serving in Iraq. Who knows? We always come up with excuses. That's what it is. But the situation is, all these people are dead. And for some reason, these individuals who served the country, they protected the flag, for some reason or another, snapped. And we're getting, we're concerned about the political, how heavily we get into politics now, where it's almost a blood sport. And I don't mean with the politicians. I mean the voters. It's a blood sport. We're getting way too involved in it. You want to do your due diligence. You want to make sure you make an informed vote on November the 4th. You want to read what the candidates are saying, what their platform is. You want to know which one of these candidates best fit your family's needs and yours. Again, affordability, safety. Yeah. After you make your vote, that's all you can do. You can be a civic person, join some civic associations, but, that's it. The campaign is over for you. You made your vote. Hopefully your candidate won. If he didn't, hopefully the candidate that did win does a successful job for your state, your city, your district, and, and they do the job of the people. But here we're getting so radicalized with politics. Yeah, attempts on the president's life, Trump, the Kirk guy, anti-fascists, and going after fascists and Nazis. Friggin' Nazis. Nazis have been gone for 80 years. How do you keep bringing up Nazis? You don't even get Nazis on the History Channel anymore. Nazis is over. But here we got people, they're friggin' Nazis. They're fascists. You probably ask these people what were the Nazis and the fascists. They probably couldn't answer that for you. But they'll throw that around. It's amazing how radicalized we're making politics now. They used to say that you don't talk at the dinner table, politics and religion. It's getting tough. With politics and the religions, we're shooting up, burning churches, we're attacking synagogues. It's amazing if somebody pulled up with a boat and started firing at people. It's getting dangerous out there. So that's why safety is becoming an issue. There's people with some mental issues. We have to pick up on some of these cues of these mental issues. If this person's receiving some sort of treatment and the psychiatrist is saying, this guy's dangerous, you're going to have to give us some, some tip on this. It's a shame what happened with the church. It's just, it's astonishing what's going on. And people are going to blame the guns. There's the old saying, guns don't kill people, people do. Read the availability of guns? There used to be guns available everywhere back in the 70s and 80s. I'm not kidding you. You could have bought them in a bar. Almost any bar in Jersey City, you could have bought a gun in. If they didn't have it in the bar, they would get it for you within about a half hour. There was no issue. But, we didn't go shooting up people back like that in the 70s and 80s. Maybe they had some situations with the postal. Somebody went postal and shot up the post office. That was it. Now it's becoming a common occurrence. And it astonishes me when it's kids who are doing this. When 22-year-old, 23-year-old kids, how do you have so much hate in your heart now that you would go out and shoot people? The Trump assassination attempts, young people, except for the one older guy that just was defending himself. The kid that took the shot and hit him in the ear there and killed another person behind him and wounded a couple of others. There's people saying that was all a setup for politics. Come on, jeez. See, that's it. We can't even look at the attempted assassination of a political candidate and realize, the Republicans or Trump set it up to help his campaign. Shoot me in the ear and kill a person behind me and wound another couple of people. Come on. We're getting too deep in the woods here in the politics. And it was never that way before. Your candidate won? Great. The candidate lost? You hope that Reagan or Clinton would do a good job, or Nixon, or whatever the case was. Gerald Ford? Well, Gerald Ford wasn't elected. He filled in there. You almost get in the Gerald Ford situation in New York. I seen that Trump. I don't have that Truth thing, Truth social media. He actually texted if Mandani in New York becomes the mayor, he wouldn't get any federal money. Kind of reminiscent of when Gerald Ford told New York to drop dead back in 75, 76. Drop dead. But we do have a real tight race here in New Jersey. That was a dead heat. And the issues are affordability and safety right now. Immigration was high up there right now. Now it's like third or fourth. And Jack Citarelli has gone, like I said, statistically a dead heat with Mikey Sherrill. Now, Mikey Sherrill took a couple slings and arrows in the last couple of days. Military records were given out to a political operative who just requested it, filled out the form, and they were issued to him. Now, of course, that's the other. Everybody's blaming Trump. Oh, that's Trump that released the records. Trump didn't release the records. The guy is president of the United States. He's kind of busy. I don't think he's there at the Naval Archives there with the record. And they already admitted that it was a mistake. It shouldn't have been given out, but it was. And there was a situation with Mikey Sherrill. There was a cheating scandal. I kind of remember the cheating scandal back in 94. Mikey Sherrill wouldn't think on her fellow cadets. I respect that. We're from Jersey, so we don't go into ratting on people or thinking on them as we used to say in the old days. But the situation is now, she's not making a lot of comments on it. I think she has to come clean now and release her military record. Is there more to it? Yeah, you got to get out from under this cloud. To me, it's not a big deal. Obviously, it's a big deal on the Twitter world and the Instagrams and the internet. To me, the cheating scandal. If you're not trying, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's what we used to say in sports. I'm more interested in the $7 million that she didn't realize her family had acquired. Oh yeah, my husband handles the stocks. Is it $7 million we're worth now? That's pretty good. I tell you what, my wife knows every nickel I have, or every nickel I don't have anymore. Believe me, you got to tell me the wife didn't know. There's some really good stock moves there, and I think they were in defensive stocks too. So could there be some insider trading? Look, Pelosi's made a ton of money. Tell you, most of those Congress people, they get in there, all of a sudden they become very wealthy somehow. So there is movement afoot to stop the congressional representatives from benefiting from inside information, which what it would be, with governmental stocks or companies that go before the government, defense contractors, and I believe that's where Mikey Sherrill's husband did a great job in the stock market there. I'm more interested in how she didn't know and how she came about getting the $7 million than I am about a cheating scandal. But the cheating scandal is what everyone is talking about, and that she's going to have to address that and get out in front of this. Well, I don't know if you get out in front of it now. It's gone pretty wild. She's going to have to address it, and she's probably going to have to release her records. And one of the things she was saying, no veteran is safe now. Well, they asked for the information, particularly on you. I'm sure they're doubling down with the people that work in the office now and saying, listen, we don't give out this information unless this and this and this and this has to happen. And if we do, it's redacted. It was a mistake. If somebody took a shot at it and they got it, now it's out in the public. Not all of it. And until all of it is out in the public, Mikey Sherrill has a problem. The thing with Mikey Sherrill now is I think she has a problem with the intensity of the campaign. Jack Citarelli, this is his third time running for governor. I think he's got a good tan from the intensity from the previous two campaigns. I don't know if you can bet anything more on Jack Citarelli. Each campaign has a different level of intensity. It's like a municipal campaign. If you're running for ward, council person, you're not going to get the intensity of what a mayor would be. You don't want any intensity. Run a council at large, there's zero intensity there. But as you go up that political totem pole, the intensity gets higher. It was a different intensity for Mikey Sherrill when she was running for Congress than running for governor. We were talking earlier today, well, why didn't this come out during the primary, the Democratic primary? Well, the other Democrats weren't going to throw rocks at each other. They were just hoping to survive the primaries. Who's number one coming out, and it would be Jackie Sherrill. In the general election, you're up against one-on-one opponents there. You got some fringe ones out there, but the two main opponents are Jackie Sherrill and Jack Citarelli. And each one of these candidates is going to do all they can. They're going to put on disingenuous commercials. Now, one of the worst ones I've ever seen was Jack Citarelli with the 10% sales tax. It was awfully edited audio from something that was going on in Tennessee where he's talking about what Tennessee does. And they edited the audio to sound like he was talking to it. He would do that in Jersey. Yeah, you want to play dirty. The other side's going to play dirty, and the other side just did. Now, I know the Citarelli camp sent a cease and desist order about that tax, sales tax ad, and the Sherrill campaign did nothing about it. Well, the Citarelli campaign got wind of that military issue, and now they're making hay with it. You go low, they go lower. That's as simple as that. But the intensity is different from everybody involved when you're running for Congress. A big difference than running for governor of the state. Now, can she get herself righted? Yeah, she's going to have to get in front of everything that's being said. I think she's going to have to release her military records. And along the way, she's going to have to release on it the $7 million. Where did you get? What stocks did it? How did is your husband a big defense guy? And supposedly her husband was also involved in the cheating scandal. So there are some problems. That's, one of the reasons we probably don't get the best candidates to run anymore is the intensity that comes out, especially with social media now. It drives everything, puts everything into hyperspeed. Who wants to go through this? Something you did 30 years ago pops up. Some old girlfriend somewhere says you used to wet the bed or something like that. You got to put up with all this again. There's got to be some guardrails put in place. One of the things I spoke about before is, there's got to be some truth in political advertising. Just can't throw anything out there you want. And that's what we're doing right now. And it's really not fair to the candidates. But, you go low, the other one's going to go low. But there should be some safeguards in what kind of advertising we can do in campaigns. I know in Jersey City, I think we put it in that. You have any literature that you're handing out? Got to say who printed it, who paid for it, so you can track it down. But the real bad ones that you ever see out there, it doesn't say that on the bottom. Who paid for it? Who printed it? You need some truth in the advertising. What are we going to talk about here? Jack, speaking of, let's finish up with the governor's race. Jack Citarelli got a big endorsement from the New York Post. I like the Post. I read that Post every day. I read the Daily, read all of them. That's a good get for Jack Citarelli. And I think that was even before the Mikey Sherrill Naval Academy issue popped up. So that works out real well for Jack. That'll help. And I tell you what, it's gonna be a dogfight. She's a pilot, helicopter pilot. There aren't many dogfights in helicopters, but there was a little Air Force there, a little Navy Air Force, a little dogfight going on for the governor's race. Where else do I want to go now? I want to go somewhere here. Trump. We know what Trump has to do. Trump has to stop giving his opinion on every friggin' thing that happened in this country. The mayor of Tom's River, Dan Roderick. I do the Tom's River show down here in Ocean County. I keep saying Dan Roderick needs buffers. Trump needs buffers because Trump will give his opinion on anything. When they sabotaged him at the UN with the teleprompters, that was a big mistake because he has no problem going off the top of his head. He would rather go off the top of his head. But, cutting off the escalator and then screwing with the audio from his speech, somebody's losing a job on that. But now you got the Comey guy who was the former head of the FBI. He's been indicted. And I guess there's some fire where there's smoke, there's fire. We couldn't indict the guy that threw a ham sandwich at an ICE agent, but you got Comey. And they got these records, and it's contradicting what Comey said to the Congress. First off, don't you burn and shred these records when you're leaving the office? You got anything incriminating? How stupid are these people now? If you're leaving the office and you were part of the Russian hoax or the dossier or whatever BS you guys tried to do on Trump, and they did everything they could on Trump. There were some lawsuits there, like the one with his real estate. I didn't understand that one. He inflated the value of his properties. No kidding. Who does it? If I'm selling a car, I'm going to try to get as much money as I can for the car. If I was to sell a property, I want to get as much money as I can. Now, he went and mortgaged his properties. He went to the bank. Well, you know what? The bank sends out an appraiser. Bank doesn't say, how much is your property worth? $87 million. All right, hold on. Let me write the check out. Who you want this check made out of? No, they don't do it that way. They send an appraiser out. They do their diligence. Trump, I think they overturned those judgments on him now. They convicted him on this. Yeah, he overvalued his properties. Yeah, who doesn't? But Trump brings a lot of this on himself. But especially now, the heat he gets. It's just be quiet. You don't need to be on TV all the time. You don't have to give an opinion on anything. But the thing with the Comey guy, when you're leaving the office, you shred everything. You don't leave any friggin' incriminating evidence. Now they're pulling out all these forms. This guy's writing emails and letters back and forth, and there they are. So he's probably going to be indicted. It just amazes me that this happens. Don't forget the debate tomorrow, 6:30, Comcast Channel 190 on our YouTube and on our Facebook. And my notes here. Dart, let's do a little sports. We got about, what do we got here? Another 10 minutes to show. Jason Dart started for the Giants yesterday. The kid looked pretty damn good. I tell you, that kid reminds me of Phil Simms. I see Phil Simms when I see Jason Dart. He's got that moxie. He'll take the hits. He's pretty damn accurate. I think the Giants now have a future. I know Mara just announced he's been diagnosed with cancer. Still, the future's bright for the Giants, and hopefully Mara, he'll beat the cancer. Unfortunately, Malik Neighbors, we lost him for the season with an ACL knee injury. The Mets missed the postseason. Oh, Cohen is not happy about this. But the manager's coming back next year. They had a good season. They had a better season, real surprising season last year, the Mets. They made the playoffs. This time they didn't. They signed Soto for a ton of money. Didn't work out. They had some pitching issues. The team is just about there. You need one or two more people on the Mets, and you got yourself a real contender. Yankees are in as a wild card. They couldn't catch Toronto. So they'll be a wild card. They'll have a good run, but there's something missing from the Yankees. Now, I come from my Yankee teams with the late 70s with Reggie and Thurman, Chris Chambliss, all those guys, Mickey Rivers, Roy White. That was a team with a personality and a killer instinct. They talk about the Jeter Yankees, the 5 times champions. If they played my Yankees, the 70s, with the Reggie and Thurman, they would have lost. The Paul O'Neill, Derek Jeter ones. Jersey line. I'm taping this on a Monday, guys, as we're doing the debates tomorrow, Tuesday on the 30th. Jersey line. I am 9-5 for the week going into the 2 Monday night games against the spread. I think right now I'm probably a good 14 games over 500 against the spread. So I'm doing quite well. I go my notes here. Let me go my notes. Make sure I get everything on here. E-biking. We talk about e-bikes, especially in Hoboken and downtown Jersey City. Something has to be done with e-bikes. On Central Avenue in the Heights, they're all over the place. And they're going against traffic, with traffic, cutting across traffic. You're working on your ninja skills driving down Central Avenue. And the same way downtown, really bad in Hoboken also. Now that they're putting those parking cameras on, you really get a look at all the e-bike problems there. And the problem is a lot of these e-bikes, these kids, young people, are getting in fatal accidents. You just had a 13-year-old kid, Scotch Plains, hit by a truck. You had a 22-year-old in Orange. Again, he was hit by a truck. He was crossing traffic. There has to be some rules and regulations enforced with the e-bikes. Maybe even bikes in general. I'm not big on the bike lanes. Certainly not big on e-bikes. Should they wear helmets? Should they have license plates on? Yes, they should have license plates. They should have insurance because they can cause an accident. And if they have no insurance, so who's paying for the vehicles that are damaged? Back when I was a kid, you had mopeds. Man, when I was a kid, I wouldn't have had to buy a car when I was 13. I could have used a moped if you could ride them legally, but you had to have a license and registration. It was easier for me and my friends in Jersey City. We would go down to the junkyard and buy a car for like $50. Grab a couple license plates at the junkyard. You didn't turn your license plates back then. They were on the car at the junkyard. I had some cars that had 2 different plates. You had different plates in the front and back. It was a different world, different time back in the 70s there. Buy a car for $50 out of the junkyard, Skyway Patrol, with my old friend, rest his peace, Eddie Kaczynski. He was working at some junkyard. I had like a rotating deal with him. I'd buy a car for $50. That car, brought it to the ground, give it back, he'd give me another car for $50. No, actually, I only paid $50 one. I kept flipping that same car over and over. Like I said, it had different plates. I didn't have a license, but I didn't have a license until I got married. I was 21. I had to take a tour of the state. Of all the places I got tickets. All in with Jersey City was cool with me. Fort Dix was cool with me. Worst city was Secaucus. Oh, man, they hit me with max on everything. They were building that new municipal building. They should put my name on the corner of that. I paid a ton of money on that. I had to visit all the cities in New Jersey where I got tickets when I had no license. And finally get them all paid, then I could get my license. But if you're going to have these e-bikes, I tell you what, I wouldn't have needed all those cars. I would have just got a moped. Problem is, the moped, I probably wouldn't have because, you wanted to meet some girls. you need an apartment and a car that got a little older. You needed a car. You weren't getting any girls with a moped or a bicycle. You needed an apartment, a car, and a job. That's for my youngest days. It's the only reason I worked. To have a car, an apartment, and get a girl. Probably the moped wouldn't have worked for me anyway. But at least it would have been an option if you could have a moped without having a driver's license. But now you got these guys on these e-bikes, and these bikes sport around pretty good, and you can modify them. I think they sell them out of the box. They can do like 28 miles an hour with some tweaking. These things can get up to about 35, 40 miles an hour. And again, without insurance, if somebody jumps up on the sidewalk and hits you with an e-bike. My father-in-law, rest his soul, he was hit on the corner of Congress and Central on a kid on a bike, kept going, broke his hip. There has to be some enforcement, some way we can trace this. That would be a license plate and have insurance on these things. And they've got to follow the rules of the road. You can't run against the traffic, you can't cut into traffic. Yeah, I would like to look at some of the CCTV footage of Central Avenue, and you'll see these e-bikes all over the place. And like I said, it's like it's fine tuning and ninja training there. It's just writing down. It's insane. Now remember, we got the debate tomorrow. That'll be at 6:30 on Comcast 190, Comcast 1098, our Facebook, our YouTube, and our Twitter. And we'll be simulcasting it. They were testing that today. I think the simulcast is working. But before I sign off, let's do our last group of commercial. You're listening to The City Show here on GGR. I'll be right back.
Everyone plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
All right, I'm back. Don't forget, tomorrow is the big debate. The big debate. Moderator is former mayor of Jersey City, Brett Schumler. Candidates, we got 5 of the candidates. James Solomon, Jim McGreevy, Bill O'Day, Masab Ali, and Christine Freeman. Live on Comcast, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever we can put it out there, put it that way. You just go to the Hudson Media formats. You'll find it. All right, we're out of show. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.